This is the Suzuki GSX-8T, and this the GSX-8TT. Two new retros, rather nice looking too, but the question is, are they actually any good, and should you consider buying one?
And also, which one is the better out of the two? Well, today we're going to ride them both back to back to find out. Now, I say these bikes are new, but that's not entirely true because both of them are heavily based upon the Suzuki GSX-8S Naked, which has been on the market for a couple of years now.
You see, it's the same 776cc parallel twin engine with the same state of tune, so they both make 80 horsepower peak. It's the same frame, the same geometry, the same suspension with the upside-down KYB fork, the same preload adjustable shock, the same radially mounted 4-pot Nissin brake calipers up front, and the same wheels and even the same Dunlop Road Sport 2 tyres.
Even the tech, like the switchgear, the dash, the TFT dash, are exactly the same as the 8S, and they haven't even skinned up the software to make it feel a little bit old school. So really, they're almost exactly the same bike. In fact, I'd probably say the only real differences are threefold. One, like I say, is the looks. This has been redesigned, both bikes, to be more retro, more appealing to that different potential customer. But one of the side benefits of going with a different tank shape, for example, along with some of the other bodywork, is that they have actually increased the fuel capacity a little bit. The 8S gets 14 litres, which I'd say is probably, par for the course for a middleweight naked. But these are 16.5, so an extra 2.5 litres, and given that the engine's exactly the same, you've got the same fuel economy, that will translate to actually, almost 20% more range. Number 3, though, is a slight difference in seat height, and it's a little bit counterintuitive. You see, the 8TT with the half fairing that looks a little more sporty actually gets the same seat height as the GSX-8S. They come in at 810mm. This one, though, the 8T, is a little bit taller, 815, and so it's not, a humongous difference, admittedly, but you are ever so slightly more tail up on this particular bike. Both, they've designed the seat to be quite slender at the front to help with getting your feet down at a stop, but it'd be interesting to see if we feel any, substantial difference when we're out on the road and riding them both. Otherwise, though, I'd say it's a fairly neutral, open, naked style riding position that should make it a balanced all-rounder.
Now look, there isn't a great deal of tech on these two bikes, despite the TFT dash, with 3 levels of power to choose from, 3 levels of traction control, but otherwise that's pretty much it, so no connectivity features like navigation or media. That means if you want to know where you're going or listen to your favourite tunes, then you'll need to mount your phone on the bars, and we recommend the best in the business, which is Quadlock, who we thank for supporting the channel and sponsoring this video. Now on this particular ride, we're using their handlebar mount pro to get the phone nice and central, their vibration dampener to protect the phone from any harmful vibes from the engine, the wireless charging head to keep the phone juiced up, and you can run that to the standard fit USB-C port on the bike, which keeps things nice and neat and easy. So once again, a massive thanks to Quadlock for their support, and you can find out more about their brilliant products through the link down in the description below. So I'm lucky enough to be on the half-fed 8TT first, as we head across the bridge to South Wales to find some proper good roads to properly test these bikes out on. Very nice, that, Tim. Really quite good. But I think, in the interest of consumer research, I really better put the 8T through its paces a couple of times up and down this road, just to make sure there's no differences. similar. Probably should just double check though. So back on the 8TT. Yeah, that seat height though, it's 5mm. And the windscreen, just let me double check again. It is a different colour though, mate, and you just don't know how that's going to affect the riding dynamics. So I'll promise, Tim, you'll get to go soon, mate, but got to be sure, haven't you? I had a good time there, I'll be honest, but yeah, they're the same, aren't they? The same as the GSX-8S as well. It's the same bike. I mean, I do say it's very, very, very similar to the GSX-8S, but that's not necessarily a bad thing because that already is a really good bike. I mean, it's a really nice, smooth, torquey engine. It's great in this bike, it's great in the 8S, it's great in the V-Strom 800s as well. A nice variety as well of throttle maps. You've got 3 to choose from fairly docile up to really quite direct and plucky. A good neutral chassis, it's you know, a balanced all-rounder, good suspension, good radial 4-pot brakes up front. It definitely hauls up nicely, and also the whole thing comes in at about 200 kilograms, so a fairly manageable bike. And quite often you'll find when manufacturers make a retro version of a naked bike and they put all the extra bling and finish and bits and bobs on it, you know, it can actually add quite a lot of weight. But with this one, I think it's 1 or 2 kilograms difference. So yeah, you could say they've done a very good job on that front. The only thing both myself and Tim have been wishing with it is a bit more sound. It's definitely possible to make a legal exhaust system that's louder than this, and also a bit of induction sound as well. It's all right, isn't it? But it's just not, it's not visceral. Yeah. And also it could do with some grills in the tank here or something, just to get it in your face, get you a bit excited. Not just to be, you know, a hooligan, but actually when you're riding quite quick and there's a fair bit of wind noise, there's not that much feedback as to how hard the engine's revving. It's so smooth and so quiet that I just want a bit more tactile sense and audible sense of, you know, how hard the engine's working and whether I'm getting close to the red line. Now, I did say earlier that they're exactly the same to ride, and they are in terms of, you know, how they handle and how the engine feels. But I will say in terms of comfort, more than the micro difference in seat height, you will find that this little fairing, let's say, does do a decent job of keeping some of the wind off your chest. So if you're looking for something that feels a touch warmer, perhaps a little less fatiguing if you're doing longer distances, then it might be worth paying for this one, although it is quite a substantial price hike between the two. But yeah, then you can also factor in the way they look. And it's really surprising to me, perhaps, just in the flesh, seeing them here now, how different, how much better this one looks, just for the different paint job, little fairing, and the belly pan. I think the seat's a little different as well, but for me, this one just has the edge. Thing is, though, to be fair, looks are definitely subjective. So what I'm going to do is take a picture of the two bikes, head over to my Instagram, and we'll post it in a story. Hopefully I've got a signal. Which looks better? GSX-8TT, black. GSX-8T, orange. Okay, I'm going to post that on my stories, mate, and we'll check in at the end of the video. And we'll hopefully know then which is the better looking bike according to the biking public, or at least the people who follow me on Instagram. Beautiful down here, mate. Just wait for this view when you come around the corner. Yeah, I had to get the camera rolling for this. Wow. I guess you have already seen this though with the drone shots, but it was new for me. Llandegfed Reservoir, what a fantastic place. I definitely recommend stopping by here if you do go out biking around South Wales. Anyway, on to the price. I mentioned there was a bit of a difference between these two models. That one, the 8T that Tim's on, is £9,599. This one is £9,999. And so you've got a 400 quid price difference effectively for the belly pan and fly screen. The other thing to consider though, I think more of a tricky decision, is the fact that the GSX-8S Naked actually comes in at £8,299, and it is very similar to ride, if not quite as pleasing to look at, I guess. That means it's 1,700 quid less than this top spec GSX-8TT, and so it really is quite substantial. And I think if you were looking at buying one, that would definitely be weighing on your mind. So look, we're gonna head to Baffle House, one of the best little biker spots down here in South Wales. Maybe we'll get to speak to a couple of people who've been out riding today, a couple of bikers, and see what they think. Is it worth 1,700 quid more effectively for a styling package? So this is the same bike as the GSX-8S. Which one would you take?
Personally, I'd take this one. I think it's got a better look.
And then consider the price difference. So this one's 8,299. That's 10 grand, so it's 1,700 quid. So would you take that plus 1,700 quid?
No,
or that?
I'd still take that.
Still go for that?
Yeah, I think that's a really good looking retro bike personally.
These two are based upon the same engine chassis as that. So all we want to know is, would you go for this 8S or one of these more retro style bikes? Do you want me to show you again?
Personally, I'd go for this. You got something that's supposed to look retro. How on God's earth can it look retro when the engine looks so untidy?
It's more consistent with the whole bike, looks like modern there, and it looks together.
Yeah, whereas this is something, it's trying to be like my old Katana. I don't think you can do something by doing a paint job and a fairing.
Don't know who this random bloke is, but which one would you go for out of one of these or the 8S?
That one, right there, the black one, definitely. I mean, out of the two of these as well, that is definitely the one that catches my eye the best.
Would that change your opinion if you knew you were getting 1,700 quid cash?
No, absolutely not. This one here.
You're a poser though, mate.
Yeah.
I guess, you know, speaking to people here, it's a little bit of personal preference. But for me, personally, I think it's so worth having a bike that you really like the look of. And so probably I'd say this is the one I'd go for as well. As for the old Instagram poll, well, 75% of people said they preferred this over the 8T. And so it looks like we got a winner today, and it looks like the majority think it's worth it. As always though, I'd love to know what you think, so let me know down in the comments.
And would you take one of these or the GSX-8S plus the price difference? In fact, I'll put our review of that bike on the screen now so you can give it a watch in case you missed it. And a quick reminder to hit subscribe if you want more of the latest motorcycle news and reviews like this right here on MOTOBOB. Finally, a massive thanks for watching today, and we'll catch you in the next video.